In the last episode, we arrived in Vicenza, a small city in the Veneto region that's famous for architectures designed by Palladio. Despite of being unable to visit the iconic Basilica Palladiana due to building maintenance, our Vicenza adventure will continue as we head towards another one of Palladio's iconic works.
I definitely prefer this place so much better than Padua. It's quite a pleasant surprise, and I just can't wait to discover more of this UNESCO World Heritage Town. I think just being here is quite an experience itself, and to be honest, I think I should have chosen this town as my base instead of Padua. Some of you might wonder, why I don't even talk that much anymore in my videos. Well, the fact is, the reason why you saw me doing a lot of talking in my Canada series was because, the reason why this channel was started was because in the wilderness when I was alone, I tried to talk to myself, so I let the animals know that, hey, I am around. Whereas in cities, that's not needed. I mean, seriously, do you guys really believe that there's gonna be a polar bear coming out of nowhere right here? So I'm right now at the neighborhood of Santa Corona. So I'm not really sure if the Corona here is the beer, the virus, or the crown. Probably the crown, and not the other two. But anyways, behind me, that's the church of Santa Corona. Now we're gonna go and take a look.
Later, I found out that the design of Chiesa di Santa Corona was also the work of Palladio. So it wasn't just another neighborhood church. I was ready to check it out, but then I got stopped by somebody at the entrance.
Well, it turns out that the Church of Santa Corona needs a ticket to visit, and it's actually part of a Vicenza card that allows you to go pretty much all the attractions in the city.
I did not purchase this pass because I knew I wouldn't have enough time to check out the majority of attractions that were offered. Anyways, because Basilica Palladiana was not available for visiting, there is only one other attraction in Vicenza that's remaining on my list.
Okay, so I've just got to the entrance to the Teatro Olimpico. So this is the world's first covered theater, and of course this is also a masterpiece by Maestro Palladio. And like the town of Vicenza, this is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I think we're right about the time where they're gonna do a light show inside this theater. I thought there was only one at 3 p.m., but turns out they do have a schedule published on their website, so make sure you check it out before coming here. Alright, what are we waiting for?
If you wonder why the exterior of the theater looks way older than it is, well, guess what? Teatro Olimpico was built right on the ruins of an ancient Roman theater that once stood at the same spot, and to a large extent was built directly onto the old structures. Teatro Olimpico was the final work of Palladio, which he did not live to see its completion in 1585. It is the oldest indoor theater in the world, and been the inspiration to many theaters across the globe ever since. The main stage of the theater pioneered in integrating trompe-l'oeil into theatrical performances, which made the background of the stage appear in 3D high resolution instead of just a painting or curtain with patterns. The overall ambience made you, the audience, feel connected to the ancient Rome. As Palladio, who's famous for his ancient Rome-inspired architectures, purposely integrated the glory of the old empire into the design through its mighty statues and grand facades. Palladio is a true Renaissance master, as his works indeed brought many of us back to the greatness of Golden Age Roman architecture 1,000 years after the fall of Rome.
fra guerrieri può far bacco, grande stacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla a fianco, collo dritto, muso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco cantante, poco cantante, poco cantante. Ed invece del fandango una marcia per il fango, per montagne, per valloni, con le nevi e salioni, al concerto di tromboni, di bombardie e di cannoni, che le porre tutti i tuoni all'orecchio fan fischiar. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, non più avrai quel cappello, non più avrai.
Like mentioned earlier, Teatro Olimpico has scheduled light shows for visitors who don't have an opportunity to catch a performance there. Make sure to check with either the official website or the staff on the day of your visit so you won't miss it. Despite being relatively smaller in size compared to Padua, Vicenza is more delicate and has many beautiful buildings, statues, and artworks you can see almost everywhere you go. I have to say, this is a much better place to get lost in than Padua.
And here comes another church, and I can hear music in there, so I'm gonna go take a look. Hopefully it's not one of those churches that's required to pay admission fee.
Okay, let's put the money question aside. This cathedral turns out to be the main cathedral of the town, Duomo di Vicenza. It was around the time before a mass began, so I quickly went inside and had a peek of this church. After checking out Duomo di Vicenza, I felt like I had seen most of Vicenza as a day trip tourist. To reach the train station, I passed by the remaining gates of Vicenza's old city wall. However, I decided to do a quick detour to a city park right outside of the city's old gate. Just want to see more of the local life. Little did I know that this detour changed my experience in Vicenza altogether, which made this day trip one of the highlights of this Veneto adventure. Hint hint, can you hear any music in the background? It turns out that I was just in time for the annual Vicenza Jazz Festival. Every year you find jazz musicians taking over the streets of Vicenza in the month of May and turn the different neighborhoods into concert venues. You know what that means? It means party time. Then the crowd all headed towards another direction, so I followed them. Was it a good decision? Well, I'll show you what I saw, and you make the call.
Ho bisogno d'acqua perché fa molto caldo. Magica Buda per proprio il titolo è così. Grazie Vicenza Jazz Festival!
So that recaps our visit to Vicenza. This is such an amazing place. if you're ever in the Veneto area, I highly recommend you should definitely not miss Vicenza. If you only have a choice between Padua and Vicenza, forget about Padua. Vicenza is way more interesting and way more relaxing, and personally this is, I think, one of the signature experiences here in Veneto. I hate to say this, but now let's get back to Padua. Well, if you see this, you know where I am. I am Bach.
By the time I returned to Padua, the Sunday market at Prato della Valle was almost gone, and the ground was slowly returning back to the city square I saw on my first day. Why don't we also check out the other places where we saw open-air markets and see what they're like now?
Wow, this square has turned into an open-air restaurant, a giant open-air restaurant.
It turns out that every day in the evening, Piazza di Signori turns into a huge open-air dining space. The scene of the square changed dramatically from the day before in the morning, when there was the open-air market. Yeah, it was also around dinner time for me as well. I found another spot popular with students and ordered some local favorites: Apello Spirits and porchetta wrap. Oh well, it's also the time to wrap up our Padua and Vicenza adventures. Ironically, the best time I had during these 2 days were from things I never planned. No matter if it was the open-air markets of Padua or the Vicenza Jazz Festival. Sometimes it got me thinking, maybe I should just let it go and let life take me to its most colorful chapters. Our Veneto adventure will continue as we visit this region's most famous city. Where am I talking about? Ha! You know that answer already. Just in case you don't, then follow me to the next episode.